After seeing everything, after talking to everyone, what's it feel like now at this point?
Well, to see the spirit of North Carolinians and the fact that they are fighting this and are so frustrated to be out of their home and many without power, but to see the enduring spirit is heartwarming. However, we want to make sure that we keep people safe. Even as we speak, rivers are rising in parts of our state, and search and rescue is still happening. I know a lot of that happened here in Wilmington and up in New Bern and down in Lumberton and many counties in our state. But we're going to make it through this. We just got to depend on each other and make sure that we work together for the good.
And when I interviewed you during the satellite earlier in the week, you said something really important about people not trying to come back to our area. We're on the ground, we live here. We've seen the flooded roads. What would you say to those people in Charlotte and Raleigh that are still trying to come back to the port city and the whole Cape Fear, really?
I know it's hard when you leave home and you really want to come back. But particularly in New Hanover and Brunswick and Pender right now, the roads are dangerous. And there's really only one route into Wilmington right now, and they're using it for medical personnel, emergency, supplies, and utility vehicles to try to come in and get the power back on. So we're asking people not to come back yet, because not only is it not safe, but you interfere with a lot of the rescue and supply and utility operations that we've got going on here. And I just wait a few more days to come back.
Talk about the operations. You got a chance to go to Independence Mall and see the setup that was there, the staging area, crews from Indiana. Any idea how many crews are on the ground and just how many people have come from all over to try to help at this point?
We have gotten assistance from 32 states across this country. I've talked to many governors across the country, and they have wanted to step up and help us. I will say that North Carolina has helped a lot of other states through their disasters. And so it's been important to have their assistance both in search and rescue and personnel and equipment. We're really grateful for it. We know that after the search and rescue and after the immediate recovery, we're going to have a long-term challenge here. But I believe in North Carolina, I believe we can pull together and get this done.
You already applied with FEMA. You sent out a press release a few days back. For people that, I've seen people in Fair Bluff, you have to Lumberton, our viewing area and beyond that are still impacted by Matthew, out in Whiteville. What would you say to those people? Because they're thinking not again, and this storm is just kind of bringing back those memories. And I remember how bad Matthew was, and you do too.
Yeah. We've had two so-called 500-year floods within a 2-year period. So we know they're not 500-year floods anymore. We're going to have to approach recovery in the right way. I know people want to rebuild in certain areas, but there are going to be some places where we can. I'm not sure where all those are, but it's going to be smarter to try and buy people out and to make sure we're very smart about recovery and mitigation and making sure that we're doing things to build our best future and not this happen over and over again to people.
There's still people stranded. We've heard reports, at the news station we're getting emails about people that are still stranded. What's happening to get those people? How are they being found, especially with no Wi-Fi, no internet, and no phone service?
There's search and rescue operations going on right now with the National Guard, with the Coast Guard.
Is there something they can do to kind of signal they need help, or is there any advice for those people?
Well, we know that there are people who are out looking. If there is a way you can call 911 or to get someone to do it for you, if you have an emergency situation, they want to try and get to you as quickly as possible. We know there are some areas that are cut off, and we're working very hard, our Department of Transportation, our Highway Patrol, we're trying to find various routes in to get to people and to help them.
In Bolton, there was a helicopter dropped off some supplies. Are there more areas that they're going to see supplies being dropped off?
Yes, they're working now to make sure that these areas that are surrounded by water can get some supplies, and that's going to be done by air. Some of our coastal counties, we're trying to find ways to get to them by sea. Working very hard to get the Port of Wilmington back up and hoping that that opens up today. I haven't checked in the last couple of hours to see where we are with that, but we're hoping that that happens.
As the sun comes out, last question, sorry, as the sun comes out, it kind of is put a smile on a lot of people's faces. We know the rain's drying up. Any last words you'd like to say to people that are watching in our area that are really the ones impacted by this?
I know people are so tired of the pounding rain that's continued to occur day after day. I will have to say, though, that even though the sun is shining today, rivers are still rising in parts of our state. And so just because the sun is out doesn't mean the danger is past, because in some areas we're going to see even more flooding. So we'll get through these next 48, 72 hours to make sure we rescue people, and then we'll begin this process of recovery.
All right, Governor, thank you so much. We appreciate your work. Thank you. Thank you so much. As you can see, Governor Cooper talking to us just now in the market exclusively about just what's happening in this area. I appreciate him doing the one-on-one with us because the big picture is that we live here. There are a lot of media outlets from other places, but we live here and we want to know what's happening with our area. And Governor Cooper has made it clear that he plans on working hard to get the services that we need into the Cape Fear, Rocky Point, Winnebago, all these areas that have been flooded and that are still seeing the inability to get out of their homes or the inability to get out of their towns. They feel surrounded by water, and so he is saying that they're working really diligently to get supplies to those areas. So we'll continue to follow the governor and see what he is trying to do. As we've watched him shake hands with some of the people that have come by to pick up supplies. And this, again, a supply area right here at CFCC in downtown Wilmington. A lot of cars coming just to get some meals and some bottled water and some supplies. And that's what we're seeing everywhere, including gas. So we'll continue to follow this story, and we'll send it back to you guys.